Okay, welcome. It's been a while. This is a update and a preview of my progress porting OutRun to the Amiga. So I've been working pretty hard for the last 3 or 4 months. As you can see, I've got a nice menu system in now. There are various time options. You can toggle the frame rate between 25 and 30 FPS. Got gear settings, automatic and manual. Got the music select. There is no audio yet, but there will be soon. Probably good for this video as I won't get a copyright claim. Anyway, here we are into the action. Now this is running on WinUAE and I've cranked the speed up so it's running at a full 30 FPS. I think you'll be able to get full speed probably on an 040 with this, and I'm going to show it running on my 030 hardware later, which it runs a little bit slower, but it's perfectly playable now, and I've been doing a lot of optimizations to get this running really, really fast. I'd say about half my work has been optimizing, half of it has been porting bits of code that weren't in there before, but pretty much the whole game is complete now. High scores, maps, end sequences, every last effect. It's been really challenging getting this to work on AGA hardware, which is 256 colours. The arcade machine could do many thousands at any one time. So pretty much every line of code I've gone over, I've optimized, I've made so many changes. So even though the original hardware was 68,000 based, and so is the Amiga, that's kind of where the similarities end. And the best analogy I think I can come up with is it's a bit like taking your GeForce card out of your PC and then wondering why a lot of your games don't run or are dead slow. So yeah, it's been super challenging, but it is very, very close to the arcade version, what I've managed to achieve. Uh, I think that what you've actually got is a version where with bugs that are fixed that are in the arcade version. All the rendering is done in software, which is kind of insane. And probably for the 030 and the slightly slower accelerated Amigas, I will do things like optimize the scenery and things on levels like this where there's a lot going on, just so that it will run a steady frame rate on those machines. The thing I haven't done yet is any of the audio. I might compose that myself. I might listen to tracks that are already out there. I have written software that will decompile the original arcade format as well, so I could potentially rework that into mod files for the Amiga. It's going to be an interesting project because I really like doing audio work. So yeah, I'm going to just show you the first 3 levels of the game here. As you can see, I've done some tricks with the rendering. The C2P, chunky to planar in the middle section, and there's just pure bitmaps top and bottom. I think that looks relatively respectable and gets a good speed increase. The sprite zooming code now runs through, I can't even remember, it might be 32 different routines, and one is selected depending on exactly what is going on, and that's how I've managed to get it so quick, even on hardware. And when you see it running on hardware after this, it is going to look a bit slower because it's an 030 at 50 megahertz, and even the arcade hardware was two 10 megahertz processors and loads of graphics chips. But you can see everything's here. The game's all done, which is pretty cool. Everything, including the high score table, including all the graphical tricks and fidelity that were there. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up here and then show you hardware. Okay, so here we are running on the actual Amiga. You can see when it works, the frame rate counter top right is about 15, depending on what's going on at the moment. So 17, you see there. This is running on the actual hardware. So if you've got a slightly faster Amiga than me, which a lot of people do, then this should run quite well. I think this is going to be playable. So that's really good. But really, this is just to show you that it does actually work on on hardware itself. Look at how rubbish that AI code from the arcade track mode is. Just terrible. Can't do anything right. My Amiga is a little bit fragile at the moment and keeps crashing. I think I need to recap it, but I've been putting it off because I've been coding. Overall, this is running pretty well for an 030, I think, given the amount it's trying to do. So I don't think I'm going to get it much more optimized than this, but I keep saying that, and then I find loads more optimizations. So it's really how long I want to spend on it. I think, I want to make sure I finish the project, release the project and all that. So at some point I've got to stop noodling around and probably release it. Another feature I neglected to mention when I was playing on the emulator, but I'll show you this on hardware, is you can actually view the high score table from the main menu, and also actually sort of page through the scores like this, so you can see all the scores, which you couldn't do on the arcade. You could never see any score below number 1. So there we go. And I've also got all the palette fades in there as well.